and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. Very grey day, looks like a battleship has sailed up to the window and blocked out all the light. It's literally as grey as it gets out there today. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you about my weather woes and the lack of summer in South London. We're going to talk about a perfume that I really enjoy. Now, a while ago, those of you who have been with the channel for a while will remember I did a review of Oud Immortel from Byredo. I bought a sample, loved it, and then got a bottle. Fabulous stuff. Now, the Byredo collection in our household is building up. My wife fell for Flowerhead from Byredo, and she burnt through this 50ml bottle. There's only a little bit left, and has replaced it with a big one. Now, if you are, this is a very feminine perfume, by the way. It is unisex, I think they all are, but it does lean quite feminine. If you are interested in tuberose and jasmine, this is an excellent perfume and a really good option there. Very light, very uplifting, very clean, very fresh, very big, beautiful stuff. But the one we're here to talk about today is this one, which is Oud Immortal, or Oud Immortel. Oud Immortal, I think. And this was a 2010 release, and it's absolutely stunning. Now, considering this is, 10 years old, I'm surprised I don't hear much more about it. I looked on YouTube and there's a few reviews of it, but they do tend to be quite old, so I think everyone got quite excited about it when it came out, and then the interest in it has waned somewhat. Now, that does surprise me. Now, I'm not going to spray it again because this is my third attempt at recording this video and I've sprayed tons of it. The whole room smells of Oud Immortal. So I'm not going to spray any more, but I'll show you. I mean, the Byredo bottles are great. There's a magnetic cap. Although it's 100ml, it feels much bigger. It's a beautiful bottle, beautiful presentation, very solid, very big, very nice. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the notes first and then explain a bit more about the perfume itself, because it is such a perfect perfume. So at the top you have limoncello, that beautiful Italian, is it liqueur? The way that you finish a meal, you sling a limoncello down your neck and it cleanses the palate and gets you a little bit drunk. So really good stuff. Then there's incense, there's cardamom, there's patchouli, there's papyrus, there's Brazilian rosewood, and then at the base you have tobacco leaf and you have moss. Which is interesting because you don't really get any mention of oud in this, but there is a slightly oudy feel to it. When you spray this, and this is why I love this perfume so much, because there's enough, it's not, some people, sorry, let me try that again. Some people get a bit put off when they hear oud in the fragrance and they run away. And people like me who love oud really like to try and find some in a fragrance. I think it just can quite often lead to, a fragrance being a little bit more interesting, possibly a little bit more challenging, but not everybody wants to wear a challenging fragrance. And this isn't challenging at all. So the limoncello on the opening of this is very sweet and very lemony-like. It's got quite almost like a little bit of a burnt sugary note to it that just makes it rather intoxicating. The incense is very slight, as is the cardamom. The patchouli and the papyrus actually gives us kind of a strange note under it, which actually suits it. Because the limoncello is so sweet, you need something to calm it down, otherwise it would be quite a sickly, cloying fragrance, which it isn't. I don't get much from the Brazilian rosewood. There is a woody note in this. I mean, it's a woody sheep, so you would expect some wood in there. The tobacco on the base perhaps, and the moss just calming everything down. Now, this does smell like a lot of fragrances. I didn't notice any kind of oudy note at all with the first few wearings, but then a couple of hours in when it dries down, this oud-like note does appear. And then the perfume starts to remind me a little bit of Mancera's Sandalwood, which is one of Mancera's stronger fragrances and one that I don't actually own, but one I really would like. It's a beautiful fragrance. And this starts to turn into it a little bit. It also has been said, a lot of people will say it smells very much like Paco Rabanne's Black XS, the original version of it that came out. Now, I've never smelt that, so I can't comment upon that. But if it does, and if you've smelt them both, please let me know, because I'll be interested to find out. Now, the one perfume that this does remind me of the most is from Tiziana Terenzi, and that's Orion, which is, I had a sample of Orion, a 10ml decant of it, and I featured it in one of our very first videos, which was like an alternative to Creed's Voldemort. I can't quite bring myself to say it, so we're going to refer to it as Creed's Voldemort now. And obviously, if you're a fan of the Potter films, you'll know that Voldemort is a name that should never be mentioned. So I featured Orion in a comparison to Creed's Voldemort, and I thought it was a really, really good option if you don't particularly want to go down the world of Creed's Voldemort. Now, by me saying that this smells a little bit like Orion, means does this smell a bit like Voldemort? Yes, it does, but only in places. It's not a clone and it doesn't sit well side by side, but if you've got a sweet, fruity perfume with smoky woods, then the chances are it is going to remind you somewhat of Creed's Voldemort. Now, I don't think if you put this side by side that they smell anything alike, but there are little points in this perfume where you think, oh, that does remind me of it. So there you go. And that's why I'm surprised that this isn't more popular, because I, like a lot of people, like that Voldemort DNA, but just don't want to buy it or don't want to have anything to do with it, batch variations and all that sort of thing. Do my head in as does it, you know, with Rich. So with this, you've got another take at that angle, but a lot more interesting. The fruitiness in the limoncello in this is absolutely awesome. It really is lively. And then obviously it tones itself down as the other notes come through and give it more of a base, because otherwise, you know, you don't want to end up with something like Yves Saint Laurent's YEDT or EDP rather, which is really, really fruity. And don't get me wrong, I do like that perfume. I own it and I wear it. But sometimes you want something a little bit more oomphy, something with a little bit more of an edge to it. And this does the job perfectly. When I first got this, I took my son on a picnic with a load of his friends and some of the parents of his friends. And we all sat socially distanced around a table in a local park. And I got 2 compliments on this. So it certainly does kick out. It lasts a very long time. I get a good 10 hours out of it. Good projection. Really, really solid projection for the first couple of hours, but the sillage is always there. It follows you around nicely. When I've worn this to work and I've come home from work as I get undressed before I jump in the shower, as I take my shirt off, it really, really kicks out again. So the performance is excellent. It's probably not quite as strong as Oud Immortel from Byredo, which has really, really good performance. This has a decent performance. You know, it'll easily get you through a working day. Now, talking of work, is this a good fragrance for work? Yeah, I think it is, because it's inoffensive, it's sweet and it's interesting, and it has some nice facets to it. It has some nice sort of development, and it changes a little as well. I think it is a good one to wear for work, because it's fundamentally it's a nice smelling perfume, and people around you will gravitate towards you. They will like it. I think it's a very masculine perfume though. It's labelled as a unisex perfume. I think it may not be totally female friendly, but again, if you're a female and you like a fairly masculine perfume, then this would probably be an excellent choice for you. Price point, it is an expensive perfume, but deals can be had if you're in Facebook groups, or you've got a trusted seller on eBay that you like. Testers of this are available and they're fine. This one is actually a tester. It didn't come in the beautiful Byredo box. It just came in a plain brown box. No problem with that at all, because the first thing I do with the box generally is chuck it in the bin. So no issues there. So to summarise this, sweet, fun, enchanting, long-lasting, beautiful fragrance. Really happy to have this, and as you can see, I've not had it very long, but I've been wearing it quite a bit, and I will continue to do so. It's really good on a hot day. The limoncello just cuts out and kicks out, and it survives the heat quite well. I'm assuming, although I don't know, it's going to be pretty good in the winter too. Beautiful fragrance. It's going to be a great one for going out for a meal or going out with your friends, that sort of thing, and I think it will be a perfect one for work. Now, obviously, I've got a couple of days coming up where I'm going to be going into the office, so hopefully I will be wearing this, and I will let you know how it goes. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time. If you do get a chance to sample this one, please do, because I think it's an excellent fragrance, and one that, if you like a sweet, fruity fragrance with a little bit of oud, but not a lot, not by any means is it a particularly oud dominant fragrance, it will be one that you're going to find interesting. So listen, thank you very much for your time, and we will see you on the next video. Take care, cheers, and bye!